Hello everyone and welcome to our Tuesday encouragement for this week. On Sunday it was a real joy to welcome our 5 Moorland students with us for this year. A special joy to welcome 2 of our new students, Sarah and Chloe. And this morning I've had the joy of getting to know Chloe a bit better, and I thought it'd be really lovely for us to just hear a bit more about her. So welcome Chloe, it's really good to have you with us. Chloe's a foundation student, and Chloe, tell us a bit more about your family.
Yeah, so
where you're from as well.
I am from Mucker Harbour in Leicestershire, which is about 4 hours away, so it's quite a long journey. So yeah, I've been there my whole life. I've been there kind of since I moved here, so about 19 years I guess, or 20 years. And they've just recently moved to Devon. So we've all had big moves at the moment. That's my 2 parents have moved, and then I've also got a brother in Southampton. And then yeah, the rest of my relatives are here, so I will be able to see them regularly, which is really exciting.
Yes, I found out that one of her, a few of her relatives live in Milford-on-Sea, which isn't too far away, which is lovely, isn't it? And how are you settling in to Moorlands?
Yeah, I love it so far. It's been really amazing just to get to know people, but definitely overwhelming. I think we can all, you know, experience times where we've got so much going on, but I think ultimately kind of being with God and having that quiet time with God I found really valuable in this time, just so that, you know, I can have that quiet space just to read his word and kind of see what he's got in store for me. So
brilliant. So Chloe's also been telling me a bit about her testimony, so I was going to ask her now, she'll just tell us a bit about how she came to know Jesus. So tell us, Chloe.
Yeah, so I've grew up in the Christian home for my whole life. My parents were very involved in the church, but definitely made it very important that I have my own relationship with God, whatever that might look like. So I have been a Christian, probably kind of knowing what that meant, probably at the age of 10 was when I kind of found out what a relationship with God was. But I definitely had a lot of difficulties at school. That was something that I went through as a young teen, had my bouts with mental health issues. But I kind of went to Soul Survivor. That was a massive part of my journey and still is. Went to Soul Survivor with my church. And yeah, I became a Christian there. Had a lot of prayer, a lot of time just to kind of see how God works in people's lives, and it did make me realise that I just wanted to have a relationship with him, like I said, whatever that might look like. And yeah, I became a Christian at 16, like officially, and then got baptised at my church, which was really awesome. So yeah, I've been on that journey since then, really.
Yeah, it's really exciting, isn't it? And that wonderful, what you were saying to me, that wonderful experience of realising just how much God loved you and that you could trust him in that love that he has for you. Just brilliant, thank you. Tell us a bit too then about your journey to Moorlands.
Yeah, so I did beauty therapy for about 2 years, trained at college, where I was from, and then was in a salon with like a team of girls, about 9 of us, and that was an amazing time for me. That was just showed me so much love and kind of so much, I don't know, people just being supportive. And I think through school, when I had those issues, that's something that I hadn't really experienced before. So it was, yeah, quite an important thing that I think God taught me there, was that I was loved. So had that kind of period of time when beauty was my whole life, and then I started to really not enjoy my job anymore, and I didn't really know why, because yeah, I loved it at one stage, so I did think, why is this happening? But I think that was God's way of kind of showing me that there were other routes that he wanted me to go down. So kind of prayed about it a lot, went to a friend's wedding, who was a Moorland student, I didn't tell you that bit, and I kind of was at her wedding and realised that, wow, this community that she's got at her wedding is such like a valuable thing, and it did make me think, you know, wow, this is what I want. So my dad turned to me during that wedding and was like, I think you should go to Moorlands. And me being really quite cynical at the time, I was like, now you've said it, absolutely not. But that did plant the seed, and I did pray about it a lot with multiple people and my parents, and made it quite clear to me that Moorlands was my next step. So yeah.
Brilliant. So you've come in at foundation level, which means for us as a church, we, like Josh last year, we get more hours from you. So I think we get about 14 hours of Chloe being with us, which is brilliant, especially for Jackie, because she's going to get involved a lot with the youth and children's work. But you've come into the foundation year, Chloe, and I think at the moment are thinking possibly of doing youth and community, is it called, in the future. But what are your hopes? Have you got any hopes for the future, or hopes even for your time at Moorlands that we can pray for you about?
Yeah, thank you. So yeah, youth is probably where I feel passionate mostly, but I have to say, I think talking to Kay, like pastoral care is something that I'm really interested in. So kind of just more prayers about how God's going to guide me through it, because even though youth work is something that I definitely want to get involved in and I feel passionate about, I also am very open to see what God wants to do. And you know, sometimes you go in with one idea and then come out with a completely different one. So I think hopes for the future is just that, you know, I'll be guided to wherever, and that wherever I will be, he'll just completely like equipped me. Because I think as you kind of grow up and you're in church, you do see so many people with so many gifts, and it's quite easy just to be like, oh, I don't have that gift. And I think, you know, you think, oh, maybe that is my gift, maybe that's not. And I think just that God will give me the truth of where I should be placed in the church. So yeah, just pray for guidance, I guess, really.
Yeah, brilliant. So tell us something that you really love so far about Moorlands.
Yeah, I've actually loved all of it. I know that sounds really that's really like a generic answer, but I've loved getting to know people. I've loved being able to socialise. Obviously with COVID being involved, it can make it that little bit more difficult, but actually so far I've had some great conversations with people, but actually kind of having the quiet time, that's something that I've definitely incorporated a lot more into my life. And having that time with God, I don't think I realised quite how valuable that is, because it's just taught me a lot about myself as well. So Moorlands has definitely shown me kind of how to incorporate that, how to have that time. And you know, when you're in your room and you've got people going off and doing things, have time for yourself. It's taught me that I need time just to be with God, really, so far. And it's only been a week, so I'm looking forward to seeing what happens. But yeah.
Well, it's really lovely to have Chloe with us, and don't forget we've also got Sarah has joined us for the first time this year. She's a first year student, and we've still got Josh, who's now also a first year student, doing a lot more work now at Moorlands, and we've got Tom and Hannah, who are our third year students. Of course, we know them really well now, but let's keep praying, shall we, for our Moorlands students as they settle back in to a very different way of life now at Moorlands, with all the restrictions that are going on there too, and for the staff as well, and the lecturers and all those people involved. And let's do all we can as a church to make sure they feel really welcome with us at this time. So thanks so much, Chloe. We'll be praying for you all, and have a great week, everybody.
Thank you so much.